Termites were found active in this Brisbane home, which is built as brick and timber on slab. A premise foam treatment was applied through the skirting boards in areas where termites were discovered active. Concrete pavements were drilled at 300mm centres and external areas were trenched where soil abutted the slab. A premise treatment was applied as per the label.
Damien, would you like to tell me a bit about your plan of attack on this site?
Well, the plan of attack here was to do an inspection, then ascertain the activity, and after we ascertain that, then we will then proceed to premise foam. After foaming, we then come back 7 days later to check to make sure that we've got all the activity out of the house, and then we proceed with the external barrier. And that involves drilling holes. And on this particular site, it's every 300mm centres. On paved areas, we then shorten them to make the pavers look a little bit neater. And then we also do some trenching where we trench down to the footing. We make sure the footing's nice and clean, and we would proceed to treat 80mm below the side of the footing. With foaming, we use the B&G foaming equipment. What we normally would do is to drill first and drill a series of holes around where the activity is and a little bit beyond the activity. And then we would proceed after that, after the holes are drilled, to use the foaming machine, the B&G, and inject the walls with the premise foam from there. In this particular place, 28 litres would go into this particular job.
Okay, and not just this one room? There's
no, there's 3 rooms, a study and a garage here that's been affected.
Oh, that's excellent.
Not only bottom plates, but we've got top plates here as well.
Okay. Yes. Now, what's your time lapse before coming back to check that foam?
It's normally 7 days that we would come back and check, and then we do another check 3 months later as well.
Okay. Now, you're doing this in conjunction with a liquid barrier as well.
That's right, yes.
We can discuss that outside.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damien's team are getting stuck into this external barrier here. You can hear the guys drilling around there, getting ready for that treatment. Here, this has been trenched, and you can see I'm down to the footing, because this is where your termites will get into under the mortar, under the first brick. Quite often, by doing this, you'll also see entry points, which is very, very important. You'll note that the footing here has come out a fair bit. And the treatment must go down at least 50 to 80mm below that footing level.
Yeah, well, especially this house, because the footings are so big, so they're about 250, so I'll probably come out to about 300 to drop just in front of the footing. And if I hit it, I'll have to step out again, so I'd go out another 100mm and test that, and then if it drops through, that's where I'll go from 300 all the way, follow the 300 all the way around the front entry, just to make sure I get in front of the footing all the time.
Perfect.
Instead of drilling so many holes in the front entry where people see them all the time.
Yeah. You'll notice there when Graham drilled that hole, that the drill bit did go through. So he's obviously correct. He's coming just this side of the footing, it appears, which is perfect. You'll notice here that Graham is using a measuring stick for the sake of accuracy and aesthetics. It's important to have a nice straight drill line. Some use a chalk line, but this is perfect. You'll notice the holes that Graham has drilled here are very, very neat, and he achieves that by having slow revolutions at the start of his action. The drill is acting slowly, and then as he gets into the concrete more, he revs it up a bit. But it's very, very neat, and once again, that's important for aesthetics. You'll notice on this trenching situation here, the guys have cleaned off the footing completely, which is fantastic. And then there's a small layer of soil actually put back on there, because there's not much point in putting chemical onto concrete. it needs to go into the soil to bind to the soil. And it's very important before you start a treatment to run your hose. There's always quite a few litres in your hose. So run that through first into your tank to make sure that when you pull that trigger on site, you're getting active premise. Graham, what pressure do you run your pump at for this treatment?
I find about 100 kPa is just perfect to pump the holes with and to do trenching with, so no chemical comes back out of the holes and you don't get much splash back in the trenching when you're doing trenching.
Graham's about to do some injecting into his drill holes here. And just by way of an explanation, along this wall behind us here, it's approximately 2 metres. His drill spacings are 300, so there's about 6, there actually is 6 drill holes that he has to treat along this wall. He's calibrated it, he needs 20 litres, 10 litres in a metre, so he wants to put 20 litres of active along this wall. So 6 into 20 is a little bit more than 3 litres per hole. So his equipment here is calibrated as such. Damon, I note with the flow meter here, which tells you how much is coming out at the nozzle, do these need any maintenance?
Most definitely, we do maintain. They are battery operated as well, so we do keep an eye on the situation with the batteries. But also for pest cert accreditation, for our equipment, we need to make sure that the flow is correct, and that's documented every 6 weeks.
Graham's about to start doing a treatment. What's this little gizmo?
They're hole pluggers, Nev, and what they actually do is we would actually proceed to put them in the holes for backflow of the chemical. So when we're injecting the chemical through our slab injector, prevents the flow up of chemical coming out of the holes.
This nozzle that Graham's using here, having the 360-degree coverage, is very, very important. We know there are nozzles that you can get that just it's a jet straight down into the soil. That is not good. You need to get your chemical up underneath the concrete and coverage as much as you can, because you don't know where it's going. So please use this correct nozzle, a 360-degree coverage. Whilst Graham was treating in those holes, the one right on the corner near the pier we spoke about, we showed you the premise actually flowing out onto the footing here. And of course what we're seeing is some active termites. Well, they're not real active at the moment, but he's obviously got some active leads under that concrete, and it's been absolutely a perfect treatment. The termite that came out of that treatment was actually a Shedderinotermi. It's a minor soldier. The soil injection that Graham's doing here, the rate is obviously not 10 litres a metre, it's approximately 5. And that's worked out, of course, that the chemical is applied at 100 litres per cubic metre. So the calibration there, 300 down and 150 out, you normally get a little bit over 5 litres in a metre. So this is 4.5 metres here, so Graham has got his flow meter happening, and when he's used 22, 23 litres in that area, he will stop. To finish this external perimeter off here, on this wall here, Graham's going to backfill on that treatment. He's now going to treat that backfill, and then he'll put the rocks, the decorative rocks, back in there, and he'll run another coating of premise over that, just as the finish. So that will give him his 24 litres approximately on that 4.5 metres of perimeter. As you can see here, it's a completed job. The good part about it is we've found active termites here where we showed you before, and we've had active termites up the other end. So we're obviously getting to the point, which is really, really successful. But the main thing is the house has been put back shipshape as it was. These decorative stones are back in place. There's a good barrier premise underneath them, which is going to be right for years and years and years. So congratulations to the boys. Perfect job. So as you've seen, the treatment has been completed here. The holes have been drilled, the premises have been injected into them, and they've now cleaned it off to get rid of the concrete shavings. And now they'll fill these up with some concrete mortar, and most likely they'll colour match it while they're at it for aesthetics.
First step is to inspect and identify the pest. Your second step, of course, is to provide your proposal to your client for acceptance. Once accepted and the job is booked, use premise foam to control termites inside the property's walls. Next, drill concrete slab areas and trench to the footings. When prepared, apply premise as per the label and the Australian Standard Code 3660.2. When complete, restore property to its original condition. Ensure you arrange to follow up post-treatment as promised on your proposal, and before the 12-month anniversary of the job, ensure you send notice for regular annual inspection. Both Premise and Thermador have been extensively tested, but Premise has been on the market longer with 100% effectiveness. Premise was first on the market with proven results. Both Premise and Thermador are non-repellent. They both offer a transfer effect. They are both highly effective, but the most distinguishing feature is that Premise comes at a lower cost.